Hello biscuits, it's Cupcake Kami-sama here and welcome to this month's video. In honor of Travis Baldree's new book coming out, Bookshops Bonedust, I have put together a lookbook based on his debut book called Legends and Lattes, which is one of my absolute favorites. The idea for a lookbook inspired by it has been on my mind for a while, so I'm over the moon to finally bring it to life. Look number 1 is based on the book's main character Viv, an orc who abandons her life as a barbarian to open a coffee shop. I mixed in some elements as a nod to her previous life, like the necklace or the pleather corset belt, and setting them against the much cozier backdrop inspired by the coffee shop. Violet Vane's Ginza Kisseten was the perfect print to use here, and when I found these earrings at a con, I knew I had to have them. Whilst the brooch says Violet Tea Room, I figured that it's still a hot drink establishment and fitted into Discord with that logic. Viv is a practical woman of action, hence the ponytail and the more power stance sort of poses, and I'm really pleased with how this outfit blends both sides of her. Next is an outfit inspired by Tandri, one of the first folk to end up working with Viv. Tandri is described as wearing sweaters quite a lot, so I picked one of my comfiest ones for this. All the reds and a headpiece are a nod to her being a succubus, which she is often trying to downplay, which is why the whole styling of this is very simple. I only really added the brooch and some small rings because otherwise the cord would be a touch bare. But I also think that the floaty ribbon on the brooch is quite artistic, and Tandri is very much an artist. The combination of this OP from Meta and a sweater worked out a lot nicer than I anticipated, so I might wear this again when temperatures drop a little more, because this was quite warm. Then we move to my number 1 favourite character from the book, the quiet baker ratkin named Thimble. He is literally the cutest and I would die for him. That aside, of course I had to wear this apron for our master baker. Since it covered so much, the main piece kind of didn't matter, but I went with this skirt from Wonderland Ukiyo-e because I love how it feels. It's long and heavy and beautifully textured, and I feel like, despite being quite elegant, it's still something that a late Victorian woman working the bakery counter would wear, so why not? The Lady Sloth brooches are the only mouse accessories I have, and they're literally perfect since they also reference coffee that Thimble adores. I attempted to fake a maid headpiece look with this headdress, and even though those are bare ear clips, they do a good enough job at evoking the spirit of a ratkin person. Whilst not a favourite, Hemington, the student at a local magic academy, has kind of grown on me, so the next look is inspired by him. Rather than evoke the robes that he is described as wearing, I simply went with an academia-inspired bookish sort of accord for ease. I have already worn this OP from Dear Celine with this cardigan before, so I knew they'd work well, but this particular styling is just different enough. The wrist cuffs as sock toppers worked brilliantly well, and the jewel green and navy tones complement each other so well here. Of course, no academia-inspired outfit is complete without lots of book-related jewellery, so I added plenty. And yeah, I definitely look much more approachable than the slightly stuck-up Hemington, but he's really not that bad after all. You can definitely see me studying in a coffee shop in this cohort. Last but not least, something slightly different. A cohort inspired by the cover of Legends and Lattes. My copy is this gorgeous brown and orange version with hints of sky blue, which is what I did for the whole cohort. Getting the blue to be as evenly distributed as possible was a fun challenge, and the shoelaces went a long way towards achieving that. Of course, I had to pull out my just one more chapter or two brooch for it, as well as the librarian bear, since they're much more within the colour scheme than the book brooch, whilst remaining book themed. In the end, I stayed in this cord for the rest of the day since it's also very comfortable and simply perfect for autumn evenings, just made for relaxing with a good book. And there you have it, 5 cords inspired by Travis Baldree's Legends and Lattes. My copy of Bookshops and Bonedust should be arriving soon, and I am so excited to get more of that cozy fantasy fix. And who knows? Maybe then I can do a follow-up lookbook based on that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have other cozy fantasy book recommendations, absolutely leave those in the comments, and I will see you all in my next video. Take care. Bye!